So I'm going to start off. Is everybody listening? Okay, so I'm going to start off. The reason that my name is Guadalupe Valencia. I'm one of Ryan's advisors. Ryan Garcia's here. His father's here and his mother's here, Lisa and Henry. And one of the reasons that we wanted to have this conference call and interviews is to kind of clarify everything that's been in the press in the last couple of days about this fight. And we think it's really important because there's some stories that are half true, some things that are inaccurate, and we just wanted to set the record straight. So I'm going to make a statement about what transpired, and then we're going to take a couple questions so you guys can ask questions if we miss something, okay? Everybody got it?
Yep.
Okay. Okay. So this is what happened. Ryan was training for this fight for 8 weeks. He was supposed to fight Avery Sparrow, which was a tough fight. And approximately on Tuesday, I was notified, somebody told me, a good source of mine told me that Avery Sparrow had an arrest warrant. And, whenever I hear things like that, you try to, do more investigation. You can't just say publicly somebody's got an arrest warrant. These are real serious things. So I reached out to the attorney who represents Golden Boy, and I asked them if they had heard anything about this, if this was true or not. And he contacted me. He said, yes, this is true. We're working on it. We're going to hire a lawyer. The warrant is out of Philadelphia. We're going to try to clear everything up. And I said, okay, I need to know as things are moving along because I got to make a decision if and when I tell Ryan if this doesn't get resolved. Okay? So that's on Tuesday. On Wednesday, I again contact them and I said, please give me a status about what's going on with Avery. And he sends me a text message. They said, we got a lawyer in Philadelphia and it's been resolved. The fight is going to go forward. Everything is fine. And I said, perfect. Thank you. So that's Wednesday. So as of Wednesday, Golden Boy's lawyer informed me there's no problem. The warrant has been taken care of. So at this point, there's no reason to bother anybody in our camp about this, okay? And so that's what happened on Wednesday. So Wednesday's fine, Thursday's fine. Friday morning comes, and then they inform me about 11 o'clock that Avery had been arrested, okay? And it was a real shock to me because it had been represented to me that this issue had been resolved. So at this point, I have to talk to Ryan about it. But even before that, just so you guys can understand all the efforts that we made to try to help out, I myself personally went to the police station where Avery was being held and met with the U.S. Marshals who had arrested him because I wanted to clarify what happened, number one, and number two, whether there was any solution to this, whether there was any way to get him out of jail so that he could fight. And I spoke with the U.S. Marshals, and they explained to me that there was no way that they were going to release him because whatever lawyer they had hired in Philadelphia did not get in writing any clearance on the warrant. And as they understood it, there was still an active warrant, and they were taking him into custody. And that was it. And the story was over. And by the time, at this time, it's now 12:30, 12:45, and Ryan is at the weigh-in, and Ryan weighed in at 1:35 as he was supposed to. And then when I got back to the hotel, I had to inform Ryan what had happened. So when Ryan says he didn't know anything about this, he's 100% right. And Golden Boy's attorney made these representations to us, and we relied on these representations, and this is what happened. So during these conversations, we also had a very small discussion about a replacement if this did get resolved. And they said, they asked if we'd fight Duno. And I said, yes, but for more money. We weren't going to fight Duno for the same amount of money. Okay, that was the only discussion that happened before Friday about Duno. Okay, so Friday, now we have to find a replacement fighter. And all of a sudden, Ryan gets online and he learns that Eric Gomez had posted something indicating that Ryan believed Duno was too tough and therefore we didn't want to fight him, which is a completely false statement. Ryan never said Duno was too tough, we don't want to fight him. Nobody on his team ever said that. It's completely false. And that upset Ryan as it would have upset any other fighter. So at that point, Ryan was really upset and said, I'll fight Duno. Ryan wanted to show that he'll fight Duno, that he's not afraid of Duno. And then we tried till about midnight last night to try to work out a deal. And we were not asking for a lot more. It was just a fraction more than what he was making, and they just would not pay. And we tried. Ryan's mother was on the phone at midnight trying to resolve this issue, and they just refused. They just refused to pay a little bit more, and he would have fought Duno. Okay? So it's not Ryan's fault that he didn't fight Duno. In fact, he was saying, make the fight happen. I want to show everybody that this is all a lie, and I'm going to knock him out. That was his position. And
I didn't want to fight anybody else. I didn't want to fight Peter Petrov. I didn't want to fight any of the names they were mentioning because I know what I came here for. And I came here to get my respect. And I knew I was going to get it if I beat Avery, and I'm not going to get it beating Peter. The only way I was going to get it after those statements were made online was to fight Duno. But I'm also not going to let myself be taken advantage and set up into a way where I'm cornered and I have to do whatever they say, and I have to, fight Duno for that mount that they always wanted me to. They made it get as close as they can to make it change like that, so I could be like, I have no choice, But, I said to myself, this is my chance to, stand my ground and get my respect no matter what, to prove my worth. And I've done this countless times before, I ask for what I want and they just say no, and the last minute I just say, all right, let's go, let's do it. And I fight and I win and it's spectacular. But, this time I said to myself, nah, not again. I'm not going to let myself keep on being used like that right to the last minute. You got to make a decision now or else you're not fighting or this, that. So I was like, you know what, this time I'm going to stand my ground. I'm going to trust my instincts, my team, and just trust God got my back, because at the end of the day, what's the worst that can happen? It's their mistake, not mine.
Okay. And one more thing I just wanted to add real quick.
We want to add one more thing about Peter Petrov. They wanted Ryan to fight Peter Petrov, and they wanted him to weigh in at 143 pounds. And Ryan, 143.6, I believe. And Ryan had already weighed in the day before 135. So, this is the reality. That 143 pounds at the last minute isn't even really an option. But what Ryan says is really important. He wanted to fight Duno, and that was it. He wanted to show that everybody that this was a complete lie, and he wanted to show what he's all about. And it was not Ryan's fault it didn't happen. It's their fault that they didn't want to pay just a fraction more to make it happen.
And I want to make it clear, it wasn't even an outstanding number. It wasn't in the millions. It wasn't even $1 million, or even really relatively close to $1 million. It was a little bit extra, like chump change into the perspective. Like, it wasn't like I was like, oh, give me like $1 million, I'll do it. No, I was not even close to that number. I was like, all right, if you could just give me a little bit more, Lupe, for their mistake, I will be happy, and let's get it on. I'll prove to the world in front of everybody, because everybody was gonna watch now. So I was like, let's do it. It's my chance to be great. But they just didn't let me. They didn't want me to be great. They decided to stand their ground, and you know what? That just shows that the people that supposedly are on my team felt like they weren't really on my team, because if I am the next superstar, like they say all the time, and a lot of people say it, regardless of what you want to say about my boxing ability. It just proves that they're not really that behind me. If they were, it's a little bit fraction of what I asked for, and I could have fought Duno. And honestly, to me, Duno's not even a hard fight for me. He's a power puncher, but he gets hit a lot, and I know I can land punches, and I'm fast, and I'm quick. So to me, it wasn't going to be tough at all. But it's the fact that it's like I'm taking my integrity away. It just doesn't feel good. Like, oh, I'll get what I want because I pushed you guys to the last minute. Got you, even though, we could do anything. We could wait till the last minute and do you. So I was like, you know what? This is my chance. I'm not going to let it. Let's see where this goes from here. I'm just going to trust God, and that's how it happened.
And I just want to make it clear, Lupe mentioned that I was on the phone to him that night, and some news sources released that, you know, the fight was on with Petrov, but, you know, Golden Boy was advised late last night that that fight was not going to happen, so I don't know why it was reported this morning that it would.
And even for a lesser amount, here's the thing, this is what really got me upset, is that they want to fight Brian. He's almost 9 pounds heavier. This isn't a sparring match. This is a actual fight, okay? On top of that, they want to pay less. Okay, so go figure. You're going to pay less. You're subjecting my son to a stronger guy. Okay, I mean, we know about him, but it's like, what are you doing? Who are you with? I mean, this is your fighter, Golden Boy. This is your fighter. Okay, Petrov is not your fighter. You're supposed to protect your fighters, okay? And another thing is that during the weigh-ins, they weighed Ivan Delgado. Yeah, he came in at 4 something overweight, okay? But they declared that that fight is still going to go on. Okay, that fight today that fight's still gonna be shown today. So why would they even mention Duno? So they don't even care about Ivan Delgado. They were gonna push him to the curb. It's like, you don't do stuff like that. People have heart. People have, you know, families coming. People are selling tickets, and you're just gonna say, well, you know, forget about Ivan. We're gonna say, you know what? Let's just have Ryan and fight Duno. See, that's wrong. You don't do stuff like that because it affects him as well. So it affects everybody. I wanted to make that very clear.
Any questions?